Okay, part two of my young and dumber days. Again, this happens at the Brass Horn, and again, it involves, oddly enough, the cigarette machine. Right next to the Brass Horn, there was a laundromat, and on the other side of that was a beauty parlor, and on the other side of everything was the Reporter Dispatch News building, and of course the big supermarket was there. But when it was late at night, it was just the bar open and the laundromat open. On Monday nights was my night off, so I used to had a guy tending the bar there, so I used to bring my laundry up, and I was, obviously single then, living in an apartment in Mount Kisco, and I used to put my laundry in, and then, like a lot of other people did, I would go next door and have a drink, and then time it right, so it's time to go out and put the fabric softener in, then go back, and then come back when it's time to put it in the dryer. And so it was convenient having the bar right next door. So one night I'm in there, and it's a dead night. It's quiet. It's quiet in the laundromat, and I can tell from the cars in the parking lot it's tired. It's a slow night at the bar too. So I'm sitting there. I put my laundry in, and I'm sitting there, and just as I'm thinking about ready to go next door to have a drink or talk to the bartender, a woman comes in. And at this time, I'm about 28 years old, and I think I got the world by the ass, And this woman comes in, and she's probably 35 or 40 years old, very attractive. And she starts putting her laundry in the machine, and I'm looking. I don't see a wedding ring on her hand, so I'm starting to talk to her to see if I can, see what's going on. I didn't recognize her, so we're talking back and forth, and she sees me having a cigarette. So, back in those days you could smoke anywhere. So she asked me if she could bum a cigarette for me. So I offer her a cigarette. She takes it. And we're talking, we're having a nice conversation, and I'm still trying to weasel a conversation around to find out if she's married or living with somebody or shacked up or whatever, because she was an attractive girl. But I was having no luck. So finally, my clothes went into the dryer, and we talked a little bit more, and then she asked me for another cigarette, and so I gave her another cigarette, and then we're still talking and talking and talking. And finally, it was time, and her clothes went into the dryer. And then she says to me, because she knew we had talked about that I worked next door, it was my night off. She said, "Is there a cigarette machine next door?" I said, "Yes, there is." And so she said, I don't want to keep bumming cigarettes from you. She says, "What kind of change do I need?" So I told her, and she said, "Yep, I have that." So she said, "I'm going to go next door and buy a pack of cigarettes. I'll be right back." I said, "Okay." So as she leaves, I'm thinking in my mind, smart as I am, that for the time it's going to take her to walk out this door and go next door to the bar, get inside that door, get to the cigarette machine, and start putting the coins in, and get the cigarettes, pull the lever, get the cigarettes, and go back. I got enough time to look into her dryer to see if I've got time, so if I find out if she's any telltale signs of a man being in her life, maybe a pair of men's underwear or something like that. So that's how my mind works. So she goes out the door, and boom, I scurry right over there, and I open up her dryer, and I'm digging through, thinking I got plenty of time. But what happened was when she got to the front of the building of the bar, which I didn't know because I hadn't been at the bar yet, there was a sign on the cigarette machine, "out of order." So she never even got in the door. She just saw that and came back and caught me like a badger going through her dryer like this. And she said, "Excuse me." And I pulled my head. I bumped my head pulling it out, and my head is red from the heat and red from embarrassment. And she said, "What are you doing?" So I said, "Sit down, I'm going to tell you a story." So I told her exactly what I was doing, that I was trying to find out if she was, hooked up, married, shacked up, or whatever. And I figured I had enough time while she was going to get the cigarettes to figure out if there was any telltale signs of a man living in her world. So she starts laughing her ass off. And so I says, "Is that funny?" And she says, "No." She says, "First of all, I'm married. I live in White Plains, and I'm married. And I'm married to a state trooper, by the way." I went, "Oh, my God." And she says, "My mom lives in Kisco, and I'm doing her laundry tonight." So, yeah, young and dumb. But that was a fun night.